capacity to deal with any action that North Korea would take to protect this country and the interests of this country and our allies.
All right, joining me now with analysis of the unfolding crisis, former U.S. Ambassador to the UN, former New Mexico Governor Bill Richardson. Governor, this guy's a loose cannon. It seems every day he is painting himself into a corner, which makes it, in my mind, more inevitable that something is going to happen. Thoughts?
Well, I'm concerned, too, along the lines you said, that he's going to have to do something after all this rhetoric, these military threats, these missile tests in the past. And the danger is misjudgment, miscalculation. I think the Secretary of Defense was right to say in a statement that North Korea should not cross a certain line. Again, there has to be, I believe, some kind of a proportional response by the United States and the allies. What do I mean by that? Well, if this is a test, and this is a test that sends a missile into the ocean, you know, it's still a hostile act. But I think everybody needs to be cool. What is happening, I believe, Sean, in North Korea, is that he's no longer doing this, the new leader, for domestic purposes. There has to be an end game, and I think the end game is that the North Korean military, the hardliners, those that don't want engagement, those that want some kind of hostilities, have gained the upper hand, and that's disturbing.
Well, I think you're probably right. I think he's being influenced by somebody. Certainly, I guess the sister of his grandfather is somebody with great influence, I read, and some others. I guess the thing I am concerned about whether or not we're ready for the response. I know we sent the USS John McCain. I know we sent 2 fighter jets over there and 1 missile defense system in Guam. Does that seem like we are amped up, ready to go, God forbid, in case something happens?
Yes, and I think at the same time that we've made those military maneuvers, our response, our rhetoric has been restrained. I mean, we say, look, don't cross this line. You've done enough of this heavy rhetoric. I think we are working closely with our South Korean allies for the need for any joint response. The danger, though, Sean, is some naval skirmish on the Yellow Sea, some miscalculation that would cause us to get heavily involved. And what you worry about in this situation is the first few hours, there can be a lot of damage, a lot of human damage.
We've got 30,000 troops there. Yeah, I mean, that. All right, so if in fact he attacks South Korea, we will be involved in a military battle against the North, correct?
Yeah, by treaty we have to. I think what we need to do right now is go to China and say to China, look, this is your ally. You have been very, very weak in pushing them to do the right thing, which is to cool down.
How do we
this is going to be...
I don't get this. We have to beg the Chinese to be decent. You know, the same Chinese that have been hacking into our computer system.
You don't beg them. You say to them, look, this is going to be the consequence if you don't do something with North Korea. The consequence is going to be a very enhanced American military presence in Asia, in Northeast Asia. So you say this is your territory, you're going to see a lot of us. China doesn't want that. At the same time, China doesn't want a bunch of North Korean refugees coming into China. So China's got to make some tough decisions. They did help us at the UN with tougher sanctions. So they're debating this, but I think China right now is important.
Last question. And I don't, in all the years that I've interviewed you, I don't think I've asked this, and you were the UN ambassador. I've always viewed the UN as anti-Semitic and anti-American. Tell me if I'm right or wrong.
No, it isn't, Sean. Look, there are a lot of faults with the UN. I know you don't like it, but here's a case, for instance, the UN Secretary General is a South Korean. He used to be a foreign minister. I think getting him and the president of the World Bank, who's a South Korean American, a Korean American, into ways that we can do some out-of-the-box diplomacy solution. Let's see if we can find a way out of this mess, but keep America's strength in the region, keep our allies protected. This is very tense and tough right now.
I just wish we didn't have to fund the overwhelming majority. I'm all for moving it to Moscow. Let them fund it. All right. Ambassador, good to see you. Thank you. And up tonight, next on Hannity.
People who work hard and sacrifice